It's the Debt That You Owe was an exhibition that we used as a public education project in the UK to try and raise awareness of the issue, because debt as an issue I think sometimes is seen as something that's very technical. It's this economic thing that ordinary people can't understand. But what we can do through art is we can bring out the parts that connect with people and are important to those people making that art and share them with others. The feedback of it was really positive actually. A lot of people were really excited by it. So Jelly Cleaver is a musician and she wrote a song called It's the Debt That You Owe, which was performed for the first time at the opening night of the exhibition. And so her work and the lyrics of that song look at the debt that colonising countries owe to the countries they colonised in terms of slavery and resource extraction, and then questioning why then we expect those countries to pay us a debt when the money that they have borrowed has often been to redress an imbalance that has been created by colonialism. Historically, art has always been used as a political tool, and it's always been a way that people tell stories to each other. And again, going back to that idea of debt as this very technical numbers issue, it's not, it's a human issue, and it's an issue about our planet and our natural world and about people and relationships. And one way of telling that is through art.
How much is a cup of tea?
Sunday morning. Lie in, love it. Roll into the kitchen, fill the kettle to the top.
So the artists, Gayathiri and Josie, created this spoken word piece about a cup of tea. It's like such an everyday object that we associate with Britain. We've all got a cup of tea on our table, but actually if you look into it, what we think of as this very basic English object has so many power structures and like so much colonial history all tapped into it.
She said yes. Honeymoon. She always wanted to go back to Sri Lanka.
On purpose, they
Lend us money,
we can't pay back.
take beautiful photos
Of the ugly work. Behind the food and fuel shortages causing Sri Lanka's protests lie unmanageable debts to the West. The only answer is immediate write-off.
So all of the artists had some links to one of the countries that is currently in debt crisis. They were telling stories that were personal to them and their lives and their family histories and the histories of their countries through art. Catherine's money dress is made out of Venezuelan currency. So Venezuela has been in debt crisis for a long time. It's been in all kinds of crises for a long time. And at the moment, the currency in Venezuela, because of super high inflation, is like useless. And so this dress is made of actual banknotes. We had 12 artists. We wanted as many pieces as possible in the exhibition to tell some sort of story of resistance and of people fighting back, because it can be very easy to be defeatist about things and say, oh, well, it's all terrible. There's all this exploitation and oppression. It's all in these big systems and there's nothing we can do about it. And I really like that Monique's work has these very explicit elements of protest and resistance to show that there are people doing something about it. One of my favourite pieces was Dan Deforsy's piece, which was this old, it was made to look like an old protest banner that had been ripped and resewn and ripped and resewn. And I quite like the duality of that piece. It can be read in a way that is very pessimistic, like, oh, we've been fighting for justice for such a long time, but also someone has repaired the banner over and over again, and it talks about kind of movements and the strength of movement. There's something really hopeful in that enduring ability for people to try and push back against injustice, even when it's hard and even when it takes a long time, that I find really inspiring. It is really important that artists are making art about things that seem broad and seem complicated, It makes global issues personal. It shows us where we can intervene. If we look at a specific experience in a specific place at a specific time, that gives us a place where we can start to unravel things and understand them and then hopefully change them. So if you have been motivated or inspired by anything to do with the exhibition, or you want to just learn more about debt, you should definitely join our mailing list. We run workshops on debt and colonialism and debt and climate change. So if you're part of a group and you want us to come along and talk about how these issues connect with you and your lives and any issues that you're currently working on, we'd love to do that. And yeah, just get in touch. If this has meant anything to you, get in touch, and we really, really want to talk to people about the issues.